and welcome to another video by Traveling Vegan and Frodo. So today we're talking about dairy milk, why it's not good for us, and why we should choose to go for a plant-based products, why it's not good for our health, and I already talked about how it's cruel. Milk is a cruelty, dairy is a cruelty product because we're artificially inseminating, technically raping an animal, impregnating it, and then stealing that little baby that this animal gave birth to away from it. We're stealing it, and we're stealing the milk that is originally was meant to for that little baby. And it's just stupid. I don't know why we're still doing it. It's great that more and more people are being awake to it and understanding it more. So let's get this started. 7 reasons why milk is bad for you. I have them outlined here, so I'll just read a little bit and chat a little bit and whatnot. So a lot of people know about lactose intolerance, right? And the thing is, you might not be diagnosed lactose intolerant, but a lot of people, like at least 3/4 of people in the world, are lactose intolerant. And that is because our body stops making the enzyme which helps us to properly digest cow's milk. So therefore we suffer, we get bloated, we get gas, and just it irritates our stomach. That's pretty much what happens, which is why, it's not good, it's not properly digested. So most people begin to produce less lactose, the enzyme that helps with digestion of milk, when they stop breastfeeding, which is around 2 years old. So that's pretty much when we're little babies, we're having our mother's milk. So our body knows that we need that milk for growth because we can't really consume any other food. That's our main source of nutrition, is our mother's milk. And that's normal and that's natural. This is the enzyme. So once we stop drinking mother's milk, our bodies stop producing it, and we don't have it, so we can't really digest it properly. What can I say? It is just not in our genetics to be able to process it properly. And if you think about it, all the animals out there in the world, every single one of them stops drinking mother's milk at after the infancy, right? You don't see a big, huge, bull drinking cow's milk, right? Like a 2 years old, healthy young stud or bull drinking the female cow's milk. It sounds ridiculous. So why are we as humans still drinking baby's milk? It's crazy, is it not? It doesn't make much sense. And there's some percentages here. An estimated 98% of Southeast Asians, 90% of Asian Americans, 74% of Native Americans, 70% of African Americans, and the majority of Jewish, Latino, and Indian people all suffer from lactose intolerance. So those are the numbers for USA. And number 2, it actually makes you more likely to have osteoporosis and break bones. And it does sound ridiculous because right when we grow up, we get told that we need to drink milk for healthy, strong bones, blah, blah, blah. But in reality is that it actually increases, consuming dairy milk increases risk of bone fractures as well as death, according to the recent study in the British Medical Journal. Among women, those who consumed 3 or more glasses of milk per day had a 60% increased risk of developing hip fracture and 16% increased risk for developing any bone fracture. So they did a study on that, obviously. And another study that often gets talked about is the nurses study. I'll read it out again so I just, say things properly and don't miss out on things. So that is the study called Harvard Nurses Health Study. And it also indicated that women that when it comes to preventing osteoporosis, milk may actually increase women's risk of getting the disease. That Howard Nurses Health Study followed more than 72,000 women for 18 years, and that showed no protective effect of increased milk consumption on fracture risk. Instead of promoting bone health, animal protein in dairy products can have calcium leaching effects. And Professor T. Colin Campbell actually talks about it a lot, and what he says about is that association between the intake of animal protein and fracture rates appears to be strong as the between cigarette smoking and lung cancer. So the China study as well, it talks a lot about animal protein and why it's unhealthy and why it's bad for human body as well. So we'll hear, like, we'll know this. We'll get told about it. Those of us that bother to listen and to open up their ears. So that was number 2, the osteoporosis. Number 3, there are a lot of hormones in milk. So apart from the hormones that get injected into the animal to produce more, to be pregnant more, and it's milk doesn't come from thin air. Like, the female needs to be pregnant to give milk. So apart from those hormones that get injected into the animals by farmers to increase the production, to increase the efficiency, there are also female hormones, because cow is a female. And as we know, when human females get pregnant, they're like all hormonal or whatever. They have a lot more different hormones circling through their body, doing all sorts of stuff. Same as with cow. She's a female. She also has natural hormones, which if you continue to take and take and take and take, it's just not going to be healthy for you. You're going to screw up your own body, your own hormones. So when you consume dairy, you're also taking in a significant amount of sex hormones, estrogen and progesterone. And we know that an increased exposure to estrogen increases the risk of cancer, and dairy accounts for from 60 to 80% of estrogen consumed by humans. There are a lot of contaminants in milk. That's number 5. So first of all, when you need to think about it is a business. They don't care really about the quality. They just want to make money. And it's with like all the contamination. No, this video is getting too long, so I'm going to try to split it up a little bit. But with all the things that can contaminate milk, it's not that it has to be at 0. It just has to be below a certain number. So with things like pus in the dairy milk, things like blood, things like urine, all of that stuff can be found in milk you buy from supermarket. It's just the industry has put up limitations. So as long as it's below an XYZ number, it's okay. I think it's pretty disgusting. Like, if you're drinking something and it has like an animal's pus in it, or animals like just kind of other bodily fluids in it. In reality, though, milk is a bodily fluid of another being. So, why would you want to have that? And just like I said before, it makes your skin break out. So it makes your body and your face get a lot of acne. And why is that? Is because I don't know if you've ever seen like the actual udder, right? An udder of an animal, and how they have this little suction little cups, in thumbs, and they just kind of suck, because if you were to do it by hands, it's really like hard work and it's time consuming. So obviously it's all about efficiency. So sometimes this little, I don't know what the proper word for it to be, but udders get infected, right? And farmers can't be bothered with trying to clean them up or tidy it up. Like, because dairy industry is not about the health of the animal. It is about producing milk, about producing dairy to make more money. So farmers are not going to bother taking good care of the cows. And if the cows either gets infected, they just inject it with like antibiotics and all that crap. And antibiotics, like that goes into your milk as well. Where do you think it goes? It goes into the fluids running through the animal's body. Like, ew. And that pus, it goes into that dairy, like into that milk that gets sucked off the cow. Like, it doesn't really, I mean, sure, it can be washed properly, but cows often get, their udders often get infected, and there's no way of avoiding it. There's no way of avoiding it. And additionally, dairy products and foods with high glycemic index are the leading causes of acne, according to the review published in 2013 issue of Journal of Academy of National Nutrition and Dietetics. Sorry. But yeah, so there are a lot of studies done for it, and like all the national research medical journals have published the studies. The particular one examined the link between acne and diet and have found that certain products, especially cow's milk, produce and stimulate hormones linked with acne. The study supports previous findings from Harvard School of Public Health and lots of other studies linking dairy and acne. And number 7, it doubles the risk of Parkinson's disease for men. Another study conducted on 7,500 men